The warning signal. Commander Maya Tejada stood motionless as the holographic display illuminated the darkened command center of the International Space Observatory. The eerie silence that had fallen over her team matched the inexplicable data scrolling before them. Her sharp eyes, accustomed to scanning the cosmos for anomalies, narrowed at the pattern emerging on the screen. "It's not a glitch," she said finally, her voice cutting through the tension. "Whatever this is, it's deliberately shutting down star systems." The astronomical data showed the impossible. Entire star systems going dark in sequence, moving in a clearly defined pattern across the galaxy. Not supernovas, not natural stellar death. Something was extinguishing stars with methodical precision, and the pattern was headed toward Earth's corner of the Milky Way. Dr. Liang Wei, the observatory's lead astrophysicist, adjusted his glasses nervously. "We're observing events that happened years ago due to light speed lag. If this pattern continued at the same rate, they could already be at our doorstep." Maya finished for him. Her dark hair, streaked with premature gray, was pulled back in a severe bun that emphasized the tension in her angular face. At 43, she had devoted her life to watching the stars, never expecting them to start vanishing. That was 6 months ago. Now, standing in the United Earth Council chamber in Geneva, Maya watched as the gathered representatives from every nation reacted to the irrefutable evidence of approaching extraterrestrial intelligence. The panic that had gripped her team at the observatory had spread to the highest levels of government. "The signal arrived 12 hours ago," General Abara's deep voice echoed through the chamber. The Nigerian officer's calm delivery did little to soften the impact of his words. It was broadcast simultaneously to every major communications array on Earth and translated into all major languages. The message was displayed for all to see. "To the developing civilization of Sol 3, the Varaxi Dominion approaches. Your system falls within our path of necessary expansion. You have 2 planetary rotations to decide. Surrender your world for integration or face immediate extinction. No resistance has ever succeeded. Compliance ensures survival." The chamber erupted into chaos. Accusations flew across the room. Some nations had been secretly developing space-based weapons systems in violation of international treaties. Others had detected the approaching fleet weeks ago, but withheld the information. Unity, so recently achieved after decades of climate crisis and resource wars, was fracturing under the weight of cosmic threat. Maya stood, her voice cutting through the cacophony. "This isn't a negotiation." All eyes turned to her. "The Varaxi aren't offering terms. They're announcing their arrival. Whether we surrender or fight, they're coming to take our planet." President Elena Rodriguez of the South American Alliance rose to her feet. "Commander Tejada is right. We need a unified response, not recriminations. I propose an immediate formation of an Earth Defense Coalition with all available resources pooled under a single command structure." The vote was unanimous. Perhaps the first and last time Earth's nations would agree on anything so quickly. Within hours, Maya found herself appointed as science director of the newly formed EDC, with General Abara as military commander. Their mission: find some way, any way, to defend a planet that had barely reached its own moon against an enemy capable of extinguishing stars. The Varaxi gave them 48 hours. They used every second. The signal contained more than just the message, Maya explained to the hastily assembled team of scientists and military strategists in the EDC's underground headquarters beneath the Alps. There was background radiation, quantum signatures unlike anything we've recorded, but they remind me of something. Inspiration struck in the middle of the night. Maya rushed to the archives where humanity's earliest attempts at communicating with the stars were preserved. Among them was a signal received 50 years earlier that had been dismissed as cosmic background radiation. When overlaid with the Varaxi transmission, the patterns aligned with startling precision. "It's a warning," she breathed, calling for an emergency meeting. "We weren't the first to be approached by the Varaxi. Someone tried to warn us half a century ago." The message, once properly decoded, revealed a desperate transmission from a civilization calling themselves the Caldari. They had faced the choice Earth now confronted, had chosen resistance, and paid with near extinction. But before their final stand, they had scattered warnings and the seeds of potential defense across the galaxy. The Caldari weren't just warning us, Maya explained. They were telling us that Earth has something unique, something the Varaxi fear. 20 hours into their deadline, the first attack came without warning. Luna Base, humanity's farthest permanent settlement, went silent. Satellite imagery showed a Varaxi scout ship hovering over the lunar surface, methodically destroying the habitat domes. 3,000 colonists, including some of Earth's brightest minds, gone in minutes. "They're testing our defenses," General Abera stated grimly during the crisis meeting that followed, "and sending a message about the consequences of resistance." Maya's team had been working around the clock to decode the rest of the Caldari message. What they found changed everything. Earth's magnetic field has unique properties, she explained, displaying readings that compared Earth's electromagnetic signature to data from other planets. "We've always taken it for granted, but it's rare in the galaxy." The Caldari believed it could be amplified into a weapon against the Varaxi. The theoretical technology the Caldari had envisioned would require materials and engineering beyond Earth's current capabilities. But there was one place that might have what they needed: the remains of a Caldari outpost hidden beneath the Martian surface, identified by coordinates in the ancient signal. "We don't have time to mount a proper expedition," Maya argued as the clock ticked down to the Varaxi deadline. "But a small team could reach the site using the prototype Hermes shuttle. We could be there and back within the deadline if we launch immediately." General Abera shook his head. "It's a suicide mission. The Hermes hasn't completed safety trials, and we have no idea what you'll find there, if anything at all." "What's the alternative?" Maya challenged him. "Surrender to an enemy that extinguishes stars. This is our only chance." Hours later, Maya stood on the launch pad beside the sleek Hermes shuttle. Her team of 5, 2 engineers, a physicist, a xenorchaeologist, and herself, represented Earth's desperate gamble. Dr. Liang insisted on joining despite his age, arguing that no one else could interpret the Caldari technology if they found it. "We have 32 hours before the Varaxi deadline," Maya reminded them as they strapped into their seats. "Let's make them count." The Hermes shuttle broke Earth's atmosphere just as the Varaxi fleet emerged from behind the moon. Dozens of massive ships that dwarfed anything humanity had ever constructed. The race against extinction had begun, and Maya's small team was carrying the hopes of 8 billion souls as they accelerated toward the Red Planet. "They've seen us," the pilot, Captain Alejandro Reyes, announced tensely as they detected energy readings from one of the Varaxi vessels. "They're powering weapons." Maya gripped her seat as Captain Reyes executed evasive maneuvers that pushed the experimental craft to its limits. The Hermes shuddered as a beam of energy grazed their port side, systems flickering momentarily. "Damage report," Maya called out. "Secondary propulsion offline, but main engines still functional," replied Engineer Sarah Copper, her fingers flying over the control panel. "Life support stable. We can make it to Mars, but returning might be complicated." The Varaxi ship began to pursue, but suddenly broke off as a barrage of missiles from Earth's hastily deployed orbital defense platforms provided brief distraction. It wouldn't hold them long. The primitive human weapons barely registered on the Varaxi shields, but it gave the Hermes the window needed to slip away. As the Red Planet grew larger in their viewports, Dr. Liang meticulously reviewed the Caldari coordinates. "The site should be near Valles Marineris," he said. "Underground, beneath what appears to be a natural formation." The Hermes touched down in a swirl of Martian dust near a series of rock formations that resembled nothing so special from the outside. Using ground-penetrating radar, they quickly identified an artificial structure buried beneath 50 meters of Martian regolith. "We have 26 hours to find whatever the Caldari left behind, figure out how to use it, and get back to Earth," Maya reminded her team as they donned their pressure suits. Let's move. What they found beneath the surface of Mars would change humanity's destiny forever. A chamber, perfectly preserved, filled with technology beyond human understanding. And at its center, a pulsing beacon that activated at their approach, projecting a message in the same quantum language they had recently decrypted. The cage of silence awaits the Varaxi, Dr. Liang translated slowly. Earth carries the key in its very core. The human variable. The journey back to Earth was a desperate race against time. The Hermes shuttle, its systems pushed beyond design limits and damaged from the earlier Varaxi attack, groaned under the strain as Captain Rice plotted the fastest possible return trajectory. In the cargo hold, secured with improvised restraints, sat the Caldari device, an intricate sphere of unknown materials that pulsed with a soft blue light. 16 hours until the Varaxi deadline, Maya announced, reviewing the data they'd managed to extract from the Martian outpost. And we still don't fully understand how this technology works. Dr. Liang hadn't slept since they'd discovered the Caldari cache. His eyes were bloodshot but alert as he compared the device's emissions to Earth's natural magnetic field. The Caldari were a dying race when they created this, he said. They didn't have time to finish it, but they left us the blueprint. They called it the resonance shield. According to the fragmented Caldari records, Earth possessed a rare combination of a strong magnetic core, unique atmospheric composition, and precise orbital characteristics that created a natural defense against the Varaxi's primary weapons, if properly amplified. The Caldari device was designed to catalyze that potential. The Varaxi ships use quantum displacement technology, Sarah explained, having deciphered the technical aspects of the Caldari warning. They literally move stars out of phase with our reality. That's how they extinguish them. The same technology powers their weapons. And Earth's magnetic field naturally disrupts quantum displacement, Maya finished, understanding dawning. That's why they gave us a choice instead of just wiping us out from a distance. They have to get close to overcome our natural defenses. The realization was both encouraging and terrifying. The Varaxi couldn't simply obliterate Earth from afar, but they had destroyed countless other civilizations with similar advantages. Whatever protection Earth's unique properties offered, it wouldn't be enough without the Caldari amplifier. Communications with Earth were sporadic as they approached, but the fragments they received painted a grim picture. The Varaxi had destroyed Earth's orbital defenses and military satellites with contemptuous ease. Nations were divided between preparing for hopeless resistance or acceptance of Varaxi terms, which, they now learned, meant the culling of most of humanity and the conversion of the remainder into a servant class. "We're picking up a transmission," Captain Rice announced as they approached the dark side of the moon, using its mass to shield them from Varaxi sensors. "It's General Abara." The general's face appeared on their screen, his expression grave. "Commander Tejada, the Security Council has voted to reject the Varaxi terms. We've evacuated as many people as possible to underground shelters, but we expect massive casualties when they attack. Did you find anything on Mars?" "We did," Maya confirmed. "But implementing it will require coordinated action across the globe. We need to establish amplification points at specific geomagnetic locations." "You have 5 hours," Abara replied. "The Varaxi commander has moved up the deadline. They detected your mission to Mars and consider it an act of aggression." The Hermes docked at a hidden facility beneath the Atlantic Ocean, one of several underwater bases constructed during the brief unified peace before the Varaxi arrival. There, Maya's team was met by an international group of scientists and engineers ready to implement their desperate plan. The Caldari device needs to be connected to Earth's magnetic field at 7 specific points. Maya explained, displaying a global map with marked locations. Each connection requires a precise installation at the exact coordinates. Once activated, it should create a resonance effect that will amplify our planet's natural electromagnetic field to a level that disrupts Varaxi technology. What remained of Earth's military forces mobilized to secure the installation sites and transport specialized teams to each location. The operation required simultaneous activation, meaning teams spread across the world would need to work in perfect synchronization. Even if this works, General Ibarra pointed out during the final briefing, it only neutralizes their weapons. Their ships are still physically present, and they may have conventional alternatives. The Keldari records suggest the resonance effect will be uncomfortable for the Varaxi, Dr. Liang added hesitantly. Their biology is sensitive to the specific frequencies we'll be generating. It won't kill them, but it should disorient them significantly. 3 hours before the new deadline, the Varaxi commander demanded Earth's formal surrender. The united response from all nations was a defiant refusal. Installation teams are in position, reported Colonel Jenna Park, the operations coordinator. Final calibrations underway at all 7 sites. The massive view screens in the Atlantic Command Center showed the Varaxi fleet moving into position around the planet. Over 100 ships, each capable of devastating a continent, arranged themselves in a precise geometric pattern that Maya recognized from the Keldari warnings. They're creating a containment field, she said. Standard procedure before they begin the phase shift of a planet. The tension in the command center was palpable as the countdown to activation reached its final minutes. Then, an unexpected complication. The African installation site reported Varaxi forces on the ground, alien troops swarming the facility. They've identified the technology, General Ibarra stated grimly. They know what we're trying to do. The African team needs 5 more minutes to complete installation, Colonel Park reported. The Varaxi will reach them in 3. Without hesitation, Maya made the call that would change the course of the conflict. Activate the other 6 sites now. An incomplete resonance field is better than none. The Keldari device at the command center began to pulse with increasing intensity as it synchronized with its counterparts around the world. The command center's instruments registered a massive surge in Earth's magnetic field strength as the resonance effect began to take hold. On the view screens, the Varaxi ships closest to Earth suddenly faltered, their perfect formation disrupted as they drifted off position. Even with only 6 points active, the effect was noticeable, but not enough to fully neutralize the alien fleet. The African team reports they're under direct attack, Colonel Park announced. They've barricaded themselves in the installation room, but can't complete the final connections. The incomplete resonance field flickered unstably on their monitors. It would collapse within minutes without the 7th installation. Then an unexpected communication came through, not from Earth, but from space. A small vessel, unlike the massive Varaxi ships, approached Earth's atmosphere at high speed. Unidentified craft. Identify yourself, General Ibarra demanded. The response came in halting English. We are Keldari survivors. We have monitored your resistance. We come to help. The small Keldari vessel dove directly toward the African installation site, evading Varaxi interceptors with remarkable agility. Before anyone could fully process what was happening, the facility's systems came online. The 7th installation activated by the unexpected allies. The effect was immediate and dramatic. Earth's magnetic field expanded into a visible aurora that enveloped the entire planet, rippling with energy that pulsed in perfect resonance with the Keldari technology. The Varaxi ships reeled, their systems failing as the quantum displacement field they had been generating collapsed back upon them. Several smaller Varaxi vessels simply disintegrated, their structures unable to withstand the resonance cascade. The larger ships, including the command vessel, began desperate retreat maneuvers, but the resonance field had expanded beyond Earth's immediate orbit, pursuing them like a living entity. The Keldari ship is requesting permission to land, Colonel Park reported, a note of awe in her voice. They say they've been following the Varaxi for generations, helping worlds targeted for harvesting. The remaining Varaxi fleet retreated beyond the moon's orbit, regrouping as they assessed this unexpected defeat. For the first time in their long history of conquest, they had encountered a world that could not only resist their technology, but turn it against them. Hours later, in a historic meeting at the United Earth Council chamber, Maya stood beside the Keldari representative, a tall, slender being with iridescent skin and 4 arms. Ambassador Threla explained what the Keldari had learned through centuries of resistance against the Varaxi. "Your world is not just valuable for its resources," Threla said, her translator converting her harmonic language into words humans could understand. "Earth sits at a critical juncture of galactic magnetic fields. The Varaxi need this position to continue their expansion into the neighboring arm of the galaxy." "Will they return?" President Rodriguez asked the question on everyone's mind. "Yes," Threla answered simply. "But not immediately. Your resonance shield has inflicted significant damage to their fleet. They will retreat, rebuild, and adapt their technology. You have perhaps 5 of your years before they try again." General Abera leaned forward. "And what happens then?" The Keldari ambassador's expression shifted to what might have been a smile. "In 5 years, with our combined knowledge and your world's unique properties, Earth will not just be defended. It will be a fortress from which we can finally mount an offensive against the Varaxi dominion." Maya looked out at the gathered representatives of humanity, united now not just by common threat, but by common purpose. In their desperation, humans had discovered not only an unexpected defense but unexpected allies. The stars that had gone silent might yet light again. "The Varaxi have conquered 1,000 worlds," Thrila continued, "but they have never encountered a species like humans, so quick to innovate, so determined to survive, so unwilling to accept defeat. This quality is as valuable as your planet's magnetic resonance." In the days that followed, as Earth began integrating Keldari technology and preparing for the inevitable return of the Varaxi, Maya found herself standing once again at the International Space Observatory. The stars that had once seemed to be going out now shone with renewed promise. Dr. Lyon joined her at the observation window. "The Keldari say there are others out there, survivors and resistors like themselves, hiding from the Varaxi, waiting for someone to turn the tide." Maya nodded, watching as a Keldari ship rose from the horizon, heading toward the outer solar system, where they would establish early warning systems. "The Varaxi have been harvesting civilizations for millennia," she said quietly, "always following the same pattern, always expecting the same outcomes. They never accounted for the human variable. Beyond Earth's new resonance shield, the galaxy waited, and for the first time in countless generations, it waited with hope."